Hello and welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining me again for another episode of SLC Puck. My name is Austin Facer, resident hockey guy in the area, Salt Lake City, Utah. Former sports media pro, I guess you could say. I'm excited to be here with you again for another episode of SLC Puck. I probably already said that, but that's just how excited I am. First and foremost, let me get some housekeeping out of the way here. I just want to say big, fat thank you to all of you on YouTube who have been liking, commenting, subscribing. Up to 100 subs already, and I think considering I have put some effort into this, but not like a ton of effort. I can definitely put more in, and I promise to keep the shows going, do at least 2 a week. So I just want to say big thanks to you guys for making this so fun. I'm enjoying the hell out of this. And I think we all kind of are. The story that is kind of taking our community by storm. We're all looking forward to being an NHL town, and it's becoming more and more real. That was pretty apparent at the welcome party at the Delta Center this last week. In case you missed it, I posted a vlog about that on the YouTube channel, SLC Puck. So please go ahead and check that out. I think you'll like it. I tried to just show you what it looked like from my perspective. A little bit of what was going on in the arena, some of the show. Obviously, they brought the team up on stage to introduce themselves, and from my perspective, the guys were pretty psyched. I think a lot of them are really looking forward to being in a better situation. Let's just start. Let's just say this right now. Let's put this out as like a statement of fact. The situation in Salt Lake City is way better than what those guys were experiencing in Arizona in just about every way. The ownership's better. I'm sure they were particularly excited to be welcomed into an arena that had 2, maybe 3 times as many people as they've had in attendance for home games as the Arizona Coyotes when they were at the Mullet Center down there in Tempe, or Mullet Arena, whatever it's called. It doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the Delta Center now. So anyway, that vlog was a lot of fun to put together. You can see I'm wearing the shirt that I caught when I was sitting in the stands. I was able to grab a good seat and really enjoyed that. So again, go check that out if you missed it. Again, I had Eric Jensen on the show last week. It was a lot of fun to talk to him as well. But again, yeah, this you guys are keeping the engine moving here. So just keep commenting, liking, subscribing. We'll hop right into the show right now. I think I'm guessing this is a theme we're probably going to talk about maybe 20 more times this summer and beyond. We're probably going to talk about it well into, I would bet, almost the entirety of the Utah NHL team's first season in Salt Lake City. If you're on Twitter, and if you are, you should follow me, SLC Puck. You'll know that it's ablaze with conversation about what the team name should be. And everybody has their opinion, right? And this is where I think it's going to start to really heat up in this conversation, where people are going to start drawing sides. And people are going to, there's going to be houses divided between, the names that have been sort of nominated and floating out there. And I guess rumored at this point as like the 8 that are going to be chosen to be part of a bracket that Ryan Smith wants to do to determine the outcome of the name, which, by the way, I'll just tell you this. I think that's hilarious for one reason and one reason only. It gives Ryan a great out. It gives him plausible deniability if the team name turns out to be crummy. He can always say, "Oh, you guys picked it." Well, come on. You can't blame it on me, which I think is very savvy and very smart. Again, I've talked about how I don't have a ton of confidence in his branding ability, but I do think this decision to take it to a bracket format and to get the fans involved is smart, because right now there's so much hype here, and you got to capitalize it. You got to keep throwing gas on the fire, and this is definitely one way to do it. And again, the conversation about what the team name should be will be divisive. There will be violence in the streets. People will be setting each other's homes on fire. We'll wear rival colors around, and we'll fight the folks wearing the colors that represent the the team name that we don't like, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. It was reported that there's been about I guess 8 team names that have been registered anonymously by who knows who. We all know it's the Smith Entertainment Group, and these seem to be the names that are going to make up the bracket for what will be the naming process for the team. Again, if any of this sounds foreign to you, just look it up. It's all this stuff is kind of floating out there in the news, especially here locally in Salt Lake. So just recap, Ryan Smith, he wants to put it to a bracket format. He announced this on the Pat McAfee show last week. That's how the team name is going to be. There's going to be a voting process. I'm sure there's going to be some Qualtrics technology involved with that, especially, seeing as how that's how Ryan made his money there with Qualtrics. So I think this is all very, very exciting. We'll get right into the team names here. So just from the top here, in no particular order, I guess maybe there is a little bit of an order. We'll just hop in. These are the team names that have been registered for trademark by an anonymous group, which is the Smith Entertainment Group. But we all know that. Okay, so team names. 1, Utah Hockey Club or Utah HC. I think that's going to be what the team is going to be called in some version of that this first year. Ryan made it clear he's going to we're just going to wear Utah on the front of our sweaters. That's how we're going to go through the first season of NHL hockey in Utah. Other names include Ice, which is a dumb name. It's a very bad name. Followed by another bad name, Fury. I don't think I've seen anybody be in favor of that one, which is good because it's one of the worst ones on this list. Followed by, I guess this is maybe from worst to best, or I guess not necessarily best, but we'll get there. So Ice, Fury. The next bad one is Venom, which oh my God, those are so bad. It's almost like Ryan intentionally submitted a trademark for a couple of really bad ones, to sort of prop up the good ones. That's a conspiracy theory I have, and I'm going to stand by that until proven otherwise. Another kind of bad name. It's not the worst of the bad names. It's probably the best of the bad names, if that makes sense. Blizzard. It'd be the Utah Blizzard. Again, I'll tell you a little bit more about what I think about each name in a minute. We'll just go through the list really quick. Another name is Mammoth, singular, Utah Mammoth. And then we get into the good stuff here. The Utah Yetis is another one that seems to be pretty popular, especially on Twitter. And my personal favorite on this list is the Utah Outlaws. And I'll tell you why in a second. But anyway, so these are kind of what we might be looking for in terms of choices when it comes to the bracket format for this team. And I got to tell you, I think, it's not going to be Utah Hockey Club. There's almost no chance that one's going to win. That's just sort of a placeholder in my mind. 4 of these are absolutely horrendous. Ice, Fury, and Venom, and Blizzard as well, those are really, really bad. I'm doing this on Instagram Live right now, and I can see my friends commenting. My friend Jeremy said, Yetis and Outlaws would produce some dope gear, and I agree with that completely. So that's going to get into my take. And the problem with the other names is that they're so soulless and so lacking in personality that they could apply to any city in any market for any sport. And I think that would be such a tragedy to take this moment we have to brand a team that belongs to Utah, is going to represent the state, is something we're going to be proud of. It's our team. We should give a crap about this team more than anybody else. And I'm not going to be excited about a team called the Utah Fury. You know what I mean? I feel like those are like arena football names. You know how arena football names are like when you see like a cheesy, I guess, drama or any kind of movie that has just like has to have a sports scene in it. It's always just a very generically named team. And I believe that there couldn't be any better example of that than Utah Ice. It's just a horrific name. It's so bad. I almost think it's been put in there intentionally to prop up the good ones. Fury is the same way. We're not going to have a team name named after an emotion. That to me, that's not exciting. That doesn't get me going in terms of, again, it's an arena football name. It's soulless. It's not reflective of who we are. I mean, I get that hockey, there is a component of anger to the game. And I think that's probably a perception a lot of people have when they're not familiar with the game and like why things are happening, why fighting's happening, some of the extracurricular stuff that happens between plays. It does look a little furious, but no, we're not gonna have a team named the Fury. Okay, Venom, hate that one too. I get there are snakes here, but there are better ways to if we really want to go after like animals or something that represent the state, there are so many better ones we could do than Venom. To me, it's completely unoriginal, and it's like one. And Blizzard's stupid. I'll just get that out of the way. We can't do Blizzard because the Avalanche are the team right next door, and it's too similar, and I don't want a team named after a weather phenomenon. My friend John Stan is in the chat. He might have some insider information here. John works to design clothes with the Jazz, and I think he might know something, but maybe I'll talk to him about this offline. He's in my chat right now. But anyway, we'll get into the good stuff now. So I talked about I put together. I was looking at team names from all across sports. I wanted to know which teams do it right, which teams have names that are very good. They're reflective of their community. They have a great look. They can do cool things with their colors, with the rest of the atmosphere, with the typography, with the uniforms, with the atmosphere they can create in a game, with sort of the cool slogans they can make. In my opinion, the team that does this the best in all of professional sports is the Milwaukee Bucks. And I've thought that for a long time. And it to me, I think it's a great case study for what the Jazz should do. Or not the Jazz, I'm sorry. The Jazz should do that too. The Jazz should rebrand. They should have done that a long time ago. It's not going to happen now. But that's what I think this NHL team should do, is really try to copy what the Milwaukee Bucks have done. And the Bucks work as a great team name because it's an animal that is immediately like recognizable, and you know that it represents that part of the country very well. You know, you think Milwaukee. I don't know a lot about Wisconsin. I don't know a lot about Milwaukee, but when I think of it as kind of like a wooded area. It's the middle of the country. It's not like a huge city. It's not Miami. It's not Los Angeles. It's the middle of the country. It's a little more rural. Bucks, to me, that's an animal I would fully a deer is something I would fully expect to see out there in Wisconsin. I'm sure there's quite a few of them. It's a great name in that sense. They have a great look. I think the Bucks have an awesome typography. I think the colors complement that name really well. The forest green, the cream that represents Cream City, Milwaukee. They have a lot of breweries there. That makes perfect sense. There's blue reflecting like all the lakes in the area. White, they do black when they want to like have a nice tough look as an alternate accent color. They do it really good. They can do cool things. They can create like the deer district. There's opportunities for like alliteration and like little things like that. Fear the deer is a great slogan. I think I've made a pretty airtight case here. The Milwaukee Bucks might be the best branded team that reflects a small market, which is what Utah is, to be clear. We know that. And I think that should be the goal, is to try to have a look that resembles what the Bucks do in the NBA. Some team names that are very bad, some themes that should be avoided. I think we see this recently with some of the teams that have changed their name from like the Native American imagery and themes. I think maybe as just a result of wanting to really play it safe and be what people would call PC or politically correct. They play it a little too safe, and it is kind of soulless. Soul is really what should be captured here in the name. That would be my big criteria. And soulless names, to me, are like the Washington Commanders of the NFL, the Washington Wizards, the Cleveland Guardians, kind of. I mean, that makes a little more sense when you dig into like what actually that term guardian means in Cleveland. I'm not going to get into it. You'll have to look that up on your own. But I mean, those are bad examples when they play it a little too safe. And again, there's no personality. There's like, I don't know how you represent like a commander in mascot form. The Washington Wizards have a problem too, where like, how does a wizard reflect what happens in DC? Bullets made more sense because assassinations happen all the time in DC. It was maybe a little too on the nose, so they had to change their name from the Washington Bullets, but Wizards, I think, might have been a little too safe. But I hope they don't play it too safe. I hope they really try to capture the essence of Utah as we are right now and as we have been. And that's why I like names like Mammoth. I believe there have been a couple woolly mammoths uncovered in the Utah area. We have a huge fossil record, so it would be really great to see something that reflects like a prehistoric creature. You don't see that super often in sports. I know the Toronto Raptors obviously do that in basketball. The Ogden Raptors, play minor league baseball, in Ogden, obviously, and I would love to see maybe them exploring that possibility. I'm a huge dinosaur dork too, and so I think that would be a lot of fun. But Mammoth, I think, is an interesting way to get into that same realm. It's interesting that it's Mammoth and not Mammoths. I wonder what the thought is on that. Just maybe it's a little more chic to not have an S on the end. I guess the Kraken are probably a good example of that. The other names, but if Mammoth is singular, why is Yetis not? Yetis was another one that's like pretty good. It's it's up there. I think you can do a lot of fun things in terms of like the atmosphere. Utah Yetis kind of has a nice like roll off the tongue to it. You could do some, the colors are going to be like self-explanatory. They're going to be probably like a blue, purple, sort of cold mountainous colors. So I think Yetis is probably my second favorite. Mammoth is probably Yetis 2A, Mammoth 2B in terms of my favorite. But my tippy top of the list for me is Outlaws. And I think it's for a few reasons, because I think that it checks a lot of the other criteria that I have for team names. It's tough. It reflects the area. There's definitely a history of outlaws, the Old West in Utah. I think you can do a lot of cool things with like a logo, with a look. Your choices with colors are kind of endless. You can pick any colors you want and make Outlaws work. I think it reflects the history. Utah Outlaws, I think, kind of works a little bit coming off the tongue too. I think that U in Outlaws helps. I'm not a linguistics person, but that's just, me overthinking that. But I really think the process of choosing the team name should come down to the soul of our community and what can you do with the name. And when you look at those things, I think Ice, Fury, Venom, Blizzard, Utah Hockey Club, they've got to go. To me, it's like if any of those five make it, far in, or even to the championship realm of the bracket selection process, I'm going to lose a lot of faith in our ability to choose. And guess what? That was already dwindling quite a bit. So that's my big thought. I'm sure this is going to be something we'll talk about more. What's going to be interesting is how the bracket thing turns out, because I think, as we all know from watching sports, watching the NCAA tournament, watching the playoff system in any sport, it comes down to matchups in a bracket, and it's like, well, who's facing off against who has the edge? If in the early rounds, if they pair up Outlaws against Yetis in the first round, I'm going to be really pissed. I'm going to be really mad, because that should be the championship round. We should not be shortchanged from a great, decisive, very heated discussion. That would be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun to have that heated discussion as the bracket goes on. But it's got to be in the championship round. It can't be early on. that they've got to game it a little bit to set it up that way. And hopefully Ryan is smart enough to realize that. But we'll see. I don't know. Should be a lot of fun, though. Again, I'm sure this is a conversation we're going to have ad nauseum for maybe the next year, maybe longer, maybe 14 months, maybe 15 months. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it makes again, it's funny. Someone was talking to me about this this hockey thing. They're like, is this going to work? Are people really going to like this? And I mean, I was always a little bit on the fence. I was hopeful. And I'm definitely, after the event on Wednesday, I am fully a believer in Utah's ability to not only accept this team, but to help it thrive. I think it's all there. I think the ingredients are really there. It was so clear to me on Wednesday that this is something people care about. And even the people who are very casual. And I played hockey big time growing up. And it kind of made me unique and rare amongst my classmates in school. Like, I was definitely the only kid in my elementary school who played hockey. In the whole elementary school, every grade, didn't matter. From kindergarten to sixth grade, I was one of the only hockey players in the whole elementary school. And it was in Centerville, Utah. It's not like it's not a tiny town. It's a suburb of Salt Lake. But it made me really unique. I was one of the only ones in junior high, too. And then high school, you know, it was just a small group of us that had played together the whole way. You know, we didn't go to elementary school together, but we played outside and, you know, had a little team. But, you know, we all met up in high school and played together. We had a really good team. And it was crazy to see how much, like, the rest of the school took interest in our team. We were just, like, normal guys. We weren't, like, the cool, hot guys, like, in school. But, like, we got more people coming to our games than came to the basketball games, and probably quite a few of the football games, too. And we were a 5A school. We were a pretty good size. I think people just really like the sport of hockey. It's a cool-looking sport. Like, interesting things happen. The physicality is cool. The speed is awesome. The skill involved is a lot of fun. And I think for casual sports fans, and there are many of those in Utah, the ingredients are there for something that is going to capture a lot of attention. I think people are really. People have been texting me questions all the time. People I went to high school with and didn't play hockey with have been like, "Hey, so explain to me like what icing is, like what offsides is, like do they really call the uniform sweaters? Is it okay if I call them jerseys?" I'm like, well, the answer is yeah. Obviously, you can call them jerseys. But I think it's cool. People are interested. They want to know more about hockey. They know this is like a big thing. It is a big thing, to be clear. It's going to have a huge impact on Salt Lake City. If they can get an arena deal, that'll really change the trajectory and shape of the city for sure. So don't kid yourself. This is a big deal. But again, it's something people are just so excited about it. And I feel like that's the goal here with SLC Puck, is to put something together that can educate and help get excited. And I want to meet you guys at the level you're at. Because, yeah, I know what icing is. I know what offsides is. And I can explain it, and I will, and I should. The trick is going to be figuring out how to do that in a way that's easy for me, because I don't want to edit a video, but I guess I might have to. But anyway, we'll have to see. So that was just today's quick little episode. Today is April 28th. It's a Sunday. Right, and it's about 2:30 right now, so I'll try to get this up as soon as I can, because I got some things going on. I got a date tonight, but you guys didn't need to know that. I hope it goes well. Wish me luck. So yeah, that's good. Okay, so again, just I'll hit some plugs here. So again, big thanks to you guys. 100 subs in like a week is crazy. I know a lot of you don't know me, which makes it even more fun. So I'm looking forward to getting to know you guys better. I'm trying to answer all the comments and all the messages that I've been getting. You can follow me on Twitter, X, at SLC Puck. I'm on all the socials. It's just a matter of like how regularly I can post on there, just because I have other things going on. But I'm doing my best here. I'm hoping to get on another podcast with some other guys soon to sort of share my story a little bit, share more about what we're trying to do here at SLC Puck. But stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'll let you guys slide out. Thanks for tuning in. If you stayed with me the whole time, you're amazing. Get on with your day. We'll see you later.